Good evening, everybody. It is Monday, September the 9th, 2019, and this is your Mr. Video Game Live Super Show brought to you by Dead Sun Entertainment. Yay!
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's the dumbest intro in all of podcasting. And welcome to the brand new Monday show. It's exactly what everything you've had in the Thursday show, but now on a Monday because we were tired by Thursday. The world had taken us down and made us angry. But we're doing this today instead, so isn't that great for everyone involved?
That's something else to do on Monday. That's good.
Heck yeah. I am Slacker Kite, the Travis, whatever the hell you want to call me. I run the podcasty thing with the OBS and the visuals, but of course we have other people with us, and he doesn't need your review account. He already knows it's going to suck anyway. It's Brian, a.k.a. Wonderboy.
Jesus. Maybe sound like the most hard-ass video game reviewer ever. I mean, Jesus fuck. I was going to roll up in here talking about, like, hey, 20 years to Dreamcast, what up? Let's all be celebratory and cool dudes on the Monday show, and I'm going to queer bang bang with my finger guns. But nope, call me out. I fucking hate Borderlands 3. That's just my brand now. I hate everything that I play. Rocket League, suck a dick. Fire Pro, go jump off a cliff. Fire Emblem, still get it. Perfect video game.
Oh my fucking god.
We're only 10 years too late for the angry reviewer, hype train, so.
Totally. I'm gonna be like the quiet angry reviewer. I'm not gonna yell. I'm just gonna speak sternly like your dad.
You're gonna cry. You're gonna cry in a corner about how bad the industry's doing. That's what you're gonna do.
I do that about many things. The industry is just one. No, I'm kidding. The industry is actually pretty healthy in some ways. In other ways, it's a fucking garbage can fire. But regardless, I am here to talk about all of them on a weekly basis because it's fun.
And filling in for our lovely Merowyn, he's our extremely okay player. It's Peter from Playwatch Games. Woo!
I am extremely okay. That is apt. That's fucking apt. I am not following Brian. There's no way.
It's all right.
You should have did me first, you ass.
Very few people can follow the intense energy that is Brian Wonderboy, the man, the myth, the legend. So,
I'm literally fueled by coffee and fake cigarettes, so...
I got coffee and real cigarettes, so,
Used to be that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. You'll live longer than me.
We'll see.
So how was everyone's weekend? I hope we're doing okay.
It was a busy weekend, man.
Mm-hmm.
The Breakpoint beta was this weekend.
Heck yeah.
I spent my weekend doing that. That was fun.
I spent my weekend mostly being dead inside and then playing video games.
That sounds pretty on point, I would say.
You can tell we're adults.
Yep.
Yeah, but let's talk about video games. I don't know, it's a podcast. Let's not complain about corporate overlords. No comment. Anyway. Oh my god.
Anyway.
Alright, so, one of the games that I've been playing is the new HD re-release of Catherine. The controversial, I guess is a good way to put it, game.
In some ways.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, considering, there may be some things that kind of make it sound like the game thinks it's better if a person never transitioned. That's good. The gameplay itself is really fun. I have to start off right there. I fucking love puzzle games, and you don't get enough, fully fleshed out puzzle games. It's, always, hey, it's Tetris, but also this. So having a puzzle game that like has interesting elements to it that isn't just, 2D sprites move block around. It's nice even if, it's still a very basic push puzzle, move puzzle, block, don't fall, die. But man, everyone in this game is a fucking asshole. And that's kind of the point. Everyone is a bad person. And you're trying to get these bad people who are the sheep of hell to come along with you and not die. Because if you die in your dreams, you die in real life. So it's the most anime game I've ever played, and hilariously to me, my roommate's girlfriend's also named Catherine. So when he had to take a break from hanging out with me and watching me play this to go talk with his girlfriend, I might have died a little inside.
Yeah, so this is basically a fancy bird, is what it's become.
Yeah.
It looks prettier. I played the original way back when. I didn't understand a fucking thing that was happening in this game whatsoever. I determined, actually, this game is the game that made me determine that anime is just simply not for me. It's not for me.
I don't blame you. It's a little bit much for me, but I wanted to give it a try because I kind of like Persona 5, so I wanted to see what else Atlas can do, and I heard they toned down the problematic for an American audience, and I think they kind of have. His friends are still asshole dillweeds, but I think they're supposed to be, right? You're guiding all of these people through hell.
Yeah, I don't get why he always has to be in his underwear. It's a dream, right? He can wear whatever he wants, but he's always in his underwear.
That's how he fell asleep.
Yeah, sometimes you can't control that sort of thing. I've had plenty of dreams where I was just naked for no reason.
Those are my good dreams.
I mean, sometimes the bad turns into good. But no, like I appreciate what Catherine is doing in terms of its gameplay. I mean, I really like the puzzle stuff in it, even if it is a little oversimplified in a lot of ways. And this re-release has done some measure of good in addressing the transphobic criticisms of the first game. It hasn't come all the way there yet. I mean, you still have that ending with the person basically, like, their good ending is realizing that they should have never transitioned at all is still really fucking cringy, personally. But there are some other like story elements in there that do like kind of not as like. I hate to say that one thing makes up for the bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some good handlings of transgender issues, queer issues in general in a lot of ways.
Where did the controversy come from then?
Mainly like the ways that some people would like criticize you for like there's one character in this game who is a trans woman,
Right.
And all of your friends in this game like know each other, including this person from like high school, and if like you are like you have any kind of romantic involvement with them, they make fun of you, or there's like jokes going around about kissing a man.
Okay.
And that sort of thing, and that's that's the stuff that Travis is referring to, where it's like these people are supposed to be shitty, they're making shitty jokes, that sort of thing. Like, and I can understand that sentiment in some ways. I don't think you necessarily need to go that route to make people understand that these are shitty people, but I get the reasoning. Where it gets problematic is where you have the character have her good ending being, oh, I didn't need to transition. I didn't need to like validate myself as to who I really see myself as. I could be perfectly okay just being the man that I was. Like that sort of thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Erica here was Eric as they knew them in high school. And the blonde kid here definitely has a crush on Erica, which they make fun of him for constantly. So
yeah, but you got to think about original release, right? This was back 2010, 11, somewhere around there. We weren't as progressive back then, and we're still not that progressive. Like, people still make these jokes in private. Where the problem comes is that this is a multimedia entertainment source. This is in everyone's home now. So this message gets spread, which is a bad message to spread. So I get the controversy now. I am not good at puzzle games, so I thought it was a shit game.
I completely understand.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not into puzzles, I was as a kid, and then like puzzle games did the same thing that rhythm games did and just fucked off into nowhere. So happy to see one here, and I'm also okay. So I like the fact that the things that people say to their friends in secret, the shitty, awful things that people say, are actually kind of given a bit of a voice here to actually see them. So
yeah, well, it makes them more real, right? More relatable. We all have friends like that.
yeah, we all know
I'm
that
one of
shitty guy that like says some of this stuff. Usually you don't get all four of them together in one place, but that's kind of the idea here, is that they're all these lost sheep. Anyway, I think I've gone on too long about Catherine.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
if
cool.
this is true for you guys, but like when I was younger gamer, I was spectacular at puzzle games. Like I could figure out any puzzle in Zelda or you name it, any game I can figure it out. As I got older, I got stupider. I could not figure out the simplest fucking puzzle. I'm like, did games advance or did I regress?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Yep.
All right.
No.
My other game I'll hit on real quick is River City Girls. I only got like 2 to 3 hours of it, but if it continues like this may be one of the best brawlers of all time. Like up there with God Hand and Castle Crashers, which is a steamed fucking company. The dialogue is on fucking point. The battle system is goddamn amazing. My character that I'm currently playing goes into a dab, followed by a butt stomp, and then Chun-Li kicks. And if ever there was a move combination that just hit my aesthetics, it was that.
I want to see you dab, Trav.
Anyway.
There we go.
There we go. Got it.
That's on the internet forever now.
So is me squeaking at Five Nights at Freddy's. I've come to live with this. Anyway.
Have you seen my Five Nights at Freddy's show?
Mm-hmm.
That was not fun. There was nothing fun about that. I almost broke my chair.
But it's the same people that did the Scott Pilgrim versus the World game. It kind of takes those mechanics and I think makes them a little bit better. Everything is really smooth. All of the cutscenes are in this sort of manga-esque voiced over thing. They have some amazing voice actors, and surprising to me, they even had the Game Grumps voicing a few characters.
That's amazing. I saw you playing this too. I saw you were raving about this on Discord, and the anime thing kept me away. But first of all, is there co-op?
Yes.
That's gonna bring me in. If I can co-op this, for sure, I'll play this.
Yeah, this is a couch co-op game for sure. Me and Hollis were playing, and he was playing the other River City Girl. It's basically the same River City Ransom you played as a kid, but instead of the girlfriends being kidnapped, it is the boyfriends who have been kidnapped, and you must go save your boyfriends. First, you must break out of detention in order to go save them.
There's so many elements at work here.
Yeah, it's a little anime since, WayForward's involved. If you've ever the Genie games, which fucking escaped my mind for some reason. Shantae, there we go. Yeah.
I'm happy to see more female protagonists in games though. This is making me smile. I'm liking this.
Yeah, and despite being like, kind of tiny wayfish 14, 15-year-old girls, they still kind of do the beaten ass thing pretty well. And my favorite absolute part is in co-op. If one of the people dies, you can literally beat their spirit back into them.
That's fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah, I need to play this game. I will get over my hate of anime to play this game.
I still stand like this is like one of the ones I've been looking forward to for a while. So I can't wait to get my hands on it eventually.
All right, Peter here. I understand you've been playing a few things yourself. You know,
Oof, my. Where do you want me to start? So I've been playing. I played through the Ghost Recon Breakpoint beta this weekend, but I was also playing this other very interesting game.
Mm.
Came out late August. It's by a developer called Panache. I think Panache something or something. They made a game called Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey, and it has quickly become one of my favorite games. It's a third-person survival, but it takes you back to basically the dawn of man. These when we're still basically monkey people, and it kind of makes you realize how much we've taken for granted. Like holding things in two hands is a skill you had to learn, like, and manipulating those things, switching those things between hands, another skill we had to learn. The shit that we do every day we take for granted had to come from somewhere. And this game just gives you kind of a peek into that. And the entire goal is to see if you can evolve faster than science. So as you evolve, as you get your clan to grow and you teach them all these different things, at the end you can choose to evolve them and skip a certain number of thousands or million years, depending on how many achievements you've unlocked during your time on the Earth, and you get certain points. Like let's say if you discovered how to sharpen a stick, but you did it 10,000 years before we actually learned how to do it, well, you would get 10,000 years added to your evolutionary scale, and you just see if you can beat science. It's fantastic.
Nice.
I have no idea what it costs, or I'm playing it on the other platforms, but it's if you like the third person survival stuff and you are tired of games like The Forest and Green Hell that are just rehashing the same shit, this is the one to pick up. This is completely unique. I've never played a game like this before.
Yeah, I remember seeing some stuff about this, around I want to say like E3 a couple years ago, and then this year's E3, right before the game came out. This is a Patrice joint, the same guy that created the Assassin's Creed series.
Yep.
So like this makes total sense why this thing would be as deep, systems wise as it is.
It absolutely is, yeah.
And like that historical approach to it.
Yeah, and you actually have to like connect neurons. Like your skill tree is your brain, and you're connecting new neurons to learn things, right? It's fantastic, and the controls are phenomenally smooth.
Yeah. No, it's well polished. It's not. I don't think it's something that would dive into just because I'm not a huge fan of survival games personally, but this looks like really, really intricate in like a refreshing way.
It absolutely is. I'm a huge fan of the survival series. So you like The Forest and Green Hell and Stranded Deep, but you get bored of those games so very quickly. This game has so much to keep your interest. There's something changing every single in-game day, that adds a unique sort of perspective or a unique mechanic that you have to deal with, or a new challenge for you to have to overcome. I mean, you can actually just sit in your camp and just keep having babies if you want to, but you're never going to explore or find new things. So it's a play it your way kind of survival. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched you play a little bit of it the last time I was over, and the graphics, like, I don't think this video really shows how pretty that game is as well. Because from what I saw running on yours, like, I don't think I've seen a jungle quite as lush as what you were playing through. So,
Yeah, I'm playing on ultra graphics, and I highly recommend that. Like every little piece of foliage is detailed. It's fantastic. It's not like the flat foliage that when you walk through a video game and you try and look at it and it's obviously just like a thin piece of paper. The foliage here actually has some depth to it.
Nice.
Oh, and the water effects. Oh my god, the water effects. Puddles are fantastic.
How would you rate them against Spider-Man puddles?
Spider-Man, honestly, even keel.
All right.
Even keel with Spider-Man puddles. I found out that you will meet a lot of animals in this game, especially a lot of large cats. You cannot pet the kitten. You cannot. It will kill you. I found that out. You can stab it with a stick, though, if that makes you feel better.
But domesticated before they were domesticated.
I mean, we haven't really learned how to throw our own poop yet, so we're not going to cats yet, you know?
Fair enough.
I'm still at the early stages. I think I'm at like maybe 1 million years in. That's it. And you start at like 10,000 years, 10 million years ago.
Nice. All right, and you had mentioned the beta for Ghost Recon, right?
I did, yeah. So I spent this weekend playing it. I got about 20 hours in or so. I was playing it co-op and solo, so I got kind of feel for both of them. It's beta, so I can't say too much about it. It's obviously not a finished product, but I was playing again on high graphics. It's beautiful. They've created a beautiful world in this one. They definitely took Wildlands a step further in terms of graphics. Control could be a little smoother. The fine-tuned movements that you want to do with your character, you'll end up like yeeting yourself off a cliff, which I have done. so that's a thing to watch out for. But the gunplay is fantastic. And despite a few crashes here and there in co-op not really working, like you couldn't join your group, it kept sending you back to the login screen. But those are beta growing pains. So once the co-op got going, oh my god, is co-op ever fun in this? Like any open world game, you choose your own missions, do whatever the hell you want, go on a looting frenzy if you want, just kill shit. But the land, the amount of area you have is so vast. The weaponry is fantastic. For a beta, they've already put in so much. I'm really looking forward to playing the finished product on this one. If it ends up being as good as its potential was displayed in the beta. The only thing I didn't like is when you went to the options menu, in true Ubisoft fashion, the store button is always flashing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's always flash. Right now, it's only selling the pre-order, but I have a feeling that they're going to put some more in there.
Yeah.
Oh, Ubisoft.
Yeah, I don't generally promote Ubisoft games until well after launch, once I have determined the whole microtransaction added in grind thing. So take what I say with a grain of salt. It is Ubisoft. They're not to be trusted yet.
So would you say wait till this comes out sort of thing?
I would wait 6 months after release. Because by then, this store will be established. Oh, it did that in that, what was that racing game on, shit, you guys probably know this one. They added in the microtransactions like 6 or 8 months after launch.
Oh yeah, wasn't that Crash Team?
I think it was Crash Team, yeah. And if that's the way the industry is going, to sort of avoid the bad reviews on microtransactions and in-game purchases, I would honestly wait just about for every game for about 6 months after launch. I'm in no hurry. I have a giant backlog of games to play. I can wait.
I'm just stare at my Steam library. No, Son of the Cross, no!
Yeah, right. Steam, now Epic, and the only reason I'm on Epic, keep giving me free games, so yes, I'm taking those. But yeah, there's way too many games to play. I'm in no hurry to buy this one. I don't have that the first syndrome, where everyone needs to be first. Besides, I got into the beta, so I already was first. Screw you.
I didn't have the whole FOMO thing until I started doing this whole podcast thing, and then I started pre-ordering games more often so I could talk about it on the show, and now I am everything that I've railed against. Don't buy pre-orders! Now I'm buying pre-orders. Like an asshole.
Trav, yeah, you're an asshole, but not because of that. You have a responsibility now. You are a reviewer, you're a newsman, a journalist. You have a responsibility to your viewers to let them know about this shit. So you have to get those pre-orders so they don't.
To my whole dozen of viewers out there, yes, absolutely.
Hey, every one of those makes a difference, man. All of them are important.
True. All right, do we want to go on to the actual news stories now that we've talked for 20 minutes?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I think so.
I suppose we should talk about something on the list.
Yes, unless you want to hear about my weekend full of Hennessy.
Hennessy?
I'm good.
Yes,
well,
all right. I'm good
we will be discussing vodka today, so...
That's very, very true. Great. I also get to tell my weekend of drunk story. Cool. All right. Nah. Yes. All right.
We'll keep it relevant, man.
Yes.
Your lineages make you say things. So, we give you this fresher course on what's going on in order to talk about other things. Borderlands 3, the reviews have hit, and I'm going to start this off by saying the reviews have, for the most part, been very positive. It's got a 85 on Metacritic, and you couldn't really ask for better, but that's as of right now, and there's a few questions to be asked at the moment. Starting off with Kotaku, who, for leveling out everything here, did not get a review copy, but also nobody actually got a review copy. What?
No, they didn't. They got a pre-launch kind of broken version, which is funny because when is the game supposed to come out? Like in just a few days, right?
September 13th.
September 13th. Yeah, so just a few days from now, and they're not playing retail copies yet.
Not even just that. They have been forced to log into the Epic Game Store, not even under their account, but under a special account with this game unlocked, and it is definitely an old version, unless they are releasing this game broken as shit. Because one reviewer that spoke up lost 6 hours of gameplay due to a crash that completely wiped their save.
Yeah, but you were saying that it was mostly positive reviews, and I have to disagree with you on that because I was reading James Davenport's review, and he ripped it apart, and he did get a review copy. Well, the unfinished version review copy, and he absolutely, from PC Gamer, absolutely ripped the game apart. He did not like a single aspect of this game, like maybe just the gunplay, but I have to side with his review on this. Like he was very in depth. If Metacritic gave it a positive review, I mean that's Metacritic. What game don't they positively review?
It's somewhat interesting, right? Because there's 20 critic reviews, but I want to note when you're looking at the critic scores, XGN 95. Hobby Consoles 94, PC Games 90, Maristation 90, IGN Spain 90, Gamersky 90, IGN 90, Forbes 90, Shack News 90, Destructoid 90. You get the idea.
I get the idea. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how these reviewers are giving this such a positive review, and why PC Gamer's the odd man.
Yeah, PC Gamer is the one very odd man out, and I definitely want to go into PC Gamer's review. Now, the other reviewers, a lot of them had a lot of very negative things to say as well to, hold and, break into that whole negative criticism that we have going on here. And we'll talk a little bit about the Polygon review as well, but it's not a good start.
No, but we have to ignore the numerical score and read the meat of these reviews, right? Because the meat doesn't necessarily always match the numerical score that they've given it. Half the time they don't really even make sense. Why did you give it an 80 when in your actual article you didn't say it was worth 80?
And the Polygon review, now Polygon, as far as I'm aware, I don't think they give out scores.
No, they don't give out number scores anymore.
I'm very happy to see.
Yeah, but reading Ben Kuchera's review of the game, it seems to fall a lot in line with PC Gamer's review of the game. It's very much the exact same complaints in a lot of ways.
I mean, it can be summed up in a word, just bland. It was bland.
Yeah, just more of the same, and same of like stuff that was pretty tired, like around like 8 years ago.
Yeah, and actually, one thing that really stood out for me is that I can't remember which review I read it in, probably PC Gamer, but the jokes stretched out too long. They took the thing that was so great about the Borderlands series, and they're like, "Hey, this worked really well. Why don't we do that, but even longer?" And the important part of comedy is knowing when to finish.
Brian, do you want to read the first two paragraphs from the PC Gamer one, or should I? Because that is the meat to me of this whole thing.
Considering that it basically sums up my exact feelings of what I thought Borderlands 3 was going to be
Mm.
whenever I saw it announced. Totally. Borderlands 3 is the family circus by way of Spencer's Gifts, a game with long, earnest quests about how darn good coffee is punctuated by gore and gun violence. Borderlands 3 walks by dog poop, points at it, and laughs, and then sets it on fire. Borderlands 3 stays up until 11:30 p.m. drinking soda and googling crass flash animations, taking detailed notes. I'm just gonna add this one in there for my own personal need. It is the spiritual successor to Drawn to Death. It's stuck in the late 2000s when surface level vulgarity was enough to qualify as edgy. Borderlands 3 is seriously obsessed with turds. And when the series was first conceived, it's stuck in a time when memes lasted months rather than days, when referential humor was still a novelty and not exhausting, when you could point at something the slightest bit abnormal or gross and call it a joke. Simpler times, not necessarily better times.
Yeah. This is the exact reason why my Twitter account is not doing well.
Nope.
But
No,
I was really hoping that Borderlands 3 would make an improvement on Tales from and on 2, but it's so far the reviews are not that great in my opinion. They did not get a finished version, and that kind of irks me because how are we to know?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that things would have been that much better even if they had gotten a final version, because a lot of the complaints are coming from the actual content of the game as opposed to some of the technical stuff. Because not everyone is running into the technical bugs that are being reported by some reviewers with this thing. Yes, it is very. There are some dialogue glitches. There are some performance glitches. There are some save wipes that are happening here and there. But for the most part, a lot of the complaints come from the tired ass humor and the weak writing that honestly has plagued the series since its beginning. It's basically Claptrap is the perfect example of what Borderlands is and always will be. Claptrap is a character who is just basically a walking meme, and they think that because he's that robot is a walking meme that it can carry something beyond it. So they're like, okay, cool. Well, if that can do that, then we can just do this on a larger scale, and it'll be perfectly fine. Everything will be popular, just like Claptrap was. I read there's a instance in the game where there's just a 20-minute segment where you're talking to a character who's supposed to be Tommy Wiseau, and the only joke is that he's supposed to be Tommy Wiseau.
So something you can get in the first few seconds, and then it just goes on too long.
Exactly, and all of the fucking the poop shit from what I've been reading, what I'm seeing, just it's just all the kind of humor that I can't stand.
Well, the weekly written villains too. I can't remember their names right now, but they're definitely not Handsome Jack.
Yeah, the live stream parody twins.
Yeah, the YouTubers that want to control media. Why do we care about that? Handsome Jack was cruel and vindictive and gross and awesome, and I wanted to kill him. I can't see myself giving a crap about a couple of YouTubers that want to control media.
I'm going to throw out there, though, that this is what Borderlands did to make itself popular. And if they were going to come back, you kind of have to come back right on the whole, yeah, this is what you're expecting, this is what you'll love, we're going to give you more of it, and then in 4, maybe we'll start making the changes since it's been a decade.
I'm going to argue that you don't, actually. Because Tales of the Borderland, as much as that series is separate from the straight up Borderlands series, the writing in that game was so much better than even the writers of this game could even imagine being. And in a lot of ways, you can take those sort of that character development that's in that series and bring it over into this and create a more fulfilling experience. Because right now, you're giving Borderlands fans what they want. You're getting more of what you want. It's just what the reason why they opened up their presentation, just look at all the guns.
Yeah.
Literally, they're selling this game. Look at all the guns and look at the goofy things. And Claptrap's got a robot girlfriend now who actually is kind of a sex slave, but it's still just a robot girlfriend. and like we're just doing all the fun things 'cause we're Borderlands. And I'm like, well, that's cool, but like you could do so much more with this. And the fact that you think you don't have to in order to sell this game is really, really underwhelming. You know, it's just I wanted them to, in an age where games have gotten to where they are now, where like Gears 5 just came out.
Mm.
You want to talk about a franchise that has been beaten into the ground in a lot of ways in terms of like gameplay style
Mhm.
and the way they tell their stories. Gears of War, even though it still has a large fan base, it got tired by Gears 4. And Gears 5, they made changes to freshen it up.
But they haven't been gone for nearly as long as Borderlands has been gone, and people have said the looter shooter is dead. That this is a type of gameplay that's dead in the water, so I do think in a way they have to play it safe, and I think this is as weird as it will feel to me or you. I know a lot of people who are Borderlands diehards, and I think this is what they wanted for some reason. Doesn't make sense to me, but
I don't know about that. Like I don't. Maybe the looter shooter is losing some popularity. I don't think it's ever going to die though. There's too much instant gratification with looter shooters for people to just give up on it. And if it is dying, the last thing they needed to do is play it safe. They needed to take some risks.
die on a AAA level, let's say.
Yeah,
Honestly,
for
if
sure.
Borderlands 3 is what has to happen for the looter shooter genre to keep going, then it should die.
Yeah.
Let it die. Let it die just like Battleborn did with their attempt at a class-based shooter, and get that shit out of here. Let them try something else they'll probably inevitably fail at while all these legal cases fall through, and let someone with a more creative mind than Mr. Magic come up with a way to make this genre feel like actually really good and
Well,
really thoughtful in the way that it crafts itself.
Speaking of Mr. Magic, though, I mean, how much of this is direction? Because I can't blame the developers that worked their asses off on this game. They were following direction. They did their best, and I'm sure they wanted to make a great game everyone was going to love. But how much of this is corporate nonsense, and how much of this just bad idea?
I have to wonder how much they didn't want to sell this game. Putting Randy Pitchford out for 15 minutes to do a magic trick.
Yeah.
Putting out a review copy on a store that people don't want to be on in the first place, making them use this on an account that's not theirs to play a game that you gave them like a 2-month-old copy of rather than an updated copy. Why?
And that's
Yeah.
even for the people that got review copy. Let's not forget, like,
Yeah,
there's been some
Kotaku
really
didn't get one.
Kotaku, but that Kotaku is not like they have a like we were talking before, Travis. Like there are companies that have blacklisted Kotaku from getting review copy. It's not, it's happened. I don't
Yeah.
agree with it, but it's happened. That's fine. The fact that so many other outlets did not, like they've literally released review copy to, I want to say like 8 to 10 different websites,
Mm.
and none of them in Europe, by the way. No European outlet got a review copy of this game. So, and they're
Yeah.
the main reason why they're citing that is like saying security issues,
Hmm.
pointing to like the leaks that they had to like send a private investigator to somebody's house about.
That they really had
earlier
to
this
send a
year.
private investigator for. Really had to do that.
Yep,
Yeah,
totally had
that's
to do that.
that's absolute bullshit. I agree. In the chat, they went score hunting. They picked their friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh
what they
yeah,
did.
no, that's totally what they did. They went to the places that like IGN and GameSpot. As much as I like IGN and GameSpot at times, they definitely like a 7 is a terrible game with
Yeah,
them.
it is. It
So
absolutely
like
is.
it's just the way that these review scales have been skewed in a way why you can't necessarily look at scores.
Well, and that's what I was saying
development.
earlier. That's why scores you can't
Yeah.
look at them. You got to read the meat of the article. The meat of the article
Exactly.
almost never matches the score.
Yeah. But the thing is, like them citing those security reasons for that happening, like it's a total excuse. Like it's just one of those things. And the main reason why it's an excuse is not even because like we can go ahead and like accuse them of going score hunting here, but the fact that they leaked their own final launch trailer for the game on Gearbox's Twitter account earlier
Yeah.
today, before the embargo hit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry if you think like if you're so concerned with security stuff, then why are you leaking your own shit on your own shit?
Yeah, no, it's the oldest excuse in the book. It's because nobody can argue. It's a dead argument. It's security reasons. What can you say to that? Well, okay, we don't know the internal working, so that's it. That's as far as that goes.
Yeah.
I have never seen like a mishandling so badly of a AAA title like Borderlands 3, something that's meant to bring in all of the fucking money, and I have not seen anything that has been absolutely positive PR for this. From releasing on Epic, which they by the time this game said we're going to Epic, that was already known to be something to bring the hate down upon you, to getting YouTubers' channels taken down, to everything Randy Pitchford fucking does.
Yeah, like this is a game I wanted to love because I loved this series, what it used to be. But with how Gearbox is managing, well, how Pitchford is managing, and this YouTube fucking crackdown, I don't know if I can just ethically support this game. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be in my library until it's a $10 discount game. I'm in no rush to play this.
At the very least, don't any of you fucking pre-order. If you're listening, if you're watching right now, I'm not even saying boycott it, because, boycotts don't work,
They don't
etc.
work. They don't work. But pre-ordering, yeah, that's just teaching these companies that they can get away with this crap. It's giving them your money for a promise that they're going to release a game rather than paying for a product. And then they put in a whole bunch of shit in the game that you never knew was going to be there, or take shit out. Look at No Man's Sky. Perfect example. I pre-ordered that game. That was the last game I ever pre-ordered.
I made the mistake of pre-ordering Skyward Sword once. That was the last game I pre-ordered for like 10 years.
Yeah, see, they're expensive lessons to learn, gentlemen.
I'm trying to think of like the last like shitty game that I pre-ordered.
I pre-ordered Other M.
Yeah, but look,
That's on you. That's terrible. Yeah.
Look, we're adults and we know about bad choices. So.
Oh yes, no. I think the closest thing for me was I pre-ordered Final Fantasy 13. But that wasn't a terrible game, though.
It
You got
wasn't
lucky.
terrible. Yeah.
You got lucky though.
No.
That
Well,
was before the time of like heavy microtransactions and the way the industry is now.
Oh yeah.
Final Fantasy 13 was just outside of that.
Yeah.
And now it's dangerous. It's dangerous to pre-order. It's turning our beloved video games into crap in the AAA industry. I mean, even the phrase AAA just invokes this image of horror in my mind.
Not wrong.
All right, let's wander down the weird industry corridor because we've beaten the dead horse like the Borderlands 3 jokes are beaten routinely. Down into Business Insider, who was the start of the interesting scoops on Nintendo very quietly and not out loud. Hey, we're not releasing monthly updates to our Nintendo Online system anymore, like you've been used to for the last years. We'll drop 20 on you now. Start off, you're getting 20 SNES games. When will the rest release?
Whenever, no set schedule. But hey, it's not like you're paying more for it, so you're getting more for what you've already paid. So what's to complain about, really? Although this could be why they're cracking down on ROM sites.
I mean, they've always been in the industry of reselling their games, and I have to say, like, giving 20 SNES games at the front is pretty nice, but, man, also, you have the rights to all of these games. I do appreciate that there is work to be done on moving it to a new platform and making it online co-op. There's work to be done there. I completely understand all of that, but don't tell me it takes that much work versus how much money that you're getting per year from the Nintendo Online subscriptions because, man, the Nintendo Online infrastructure sucks ass. So don't.
Yeah, it does. I was reading Witcher, The Witcher 3 on the Switch, and there was just so much buffering and lag. And I don't think they were playing that online. Like the Switch just can't handle a lot of its ports, and the fact that its online stability is horseshit. They need a lot of work before I invest in a Switch.
Yeah.
Which is sad because I'm looking forward to Breath of the Wild 2. Breath of the Wild was one of my favorite games. But I don't want to experience a whole bunch of lagging and buffering if I'm playing this on the Switch.
Well, if that's your opinion, we have great news for you.
Whoa.
With our next story.
Yeah, the Wii U will have Breath of the Wild 2.
What up? Remember how I said trash your Wii U last week? Get it back out.
Get it back out. Go chase down the garbage man and make.
In this day and age, they are bringing back the Wii U so you can play Breath of the Wild 2. Because, let's face it, Breath of the Wild 2 was just, all of the team had all of these weird ideas for DLC for Breath of the Wild, and they're just like, well, we just make another game. It already is out there, so we're just going to if we are going to apply it, maybe 2 people will buy this on the Wii U.
I mean, I'll be one of those people because I was just informed in chat by Merwin that we have one, so...
You do?
I didn't know.
That was the TV remote for the longest
Oh, that's
time.
what that thing is. Okay. Sweet, I can play Breath of the Wild. That was good news. You were absolutely right. I'm very happy about this news.
I do have to give props somewhat. At least Nintendo was willing to be self-deprecating, showing a Wii U covered completely in some of the stuff that I've cleaned off working on servers before.
Oh, my mic was muted there for a second.
Oh, wait. Okay. Hold on 1 second.
Have you got something for us, Brian?
I think I have one thing. The Twitter account we are using here is not the actual Nintendo of America Twitter account. We might
shit!
We might have been duped.
Say it ain't so, Brian. Say it ain't so.
Yeah.
No, I failed.
No, Trav, I see the one now. I see the one.
Bail! Mayday! No!
One can hope.
Brian fucking ripped the dream, man.
I know. I gave it and I pulled it away.
I'm putting that in your chat. That ripped the fucking dream, dude.
Yeah.
God damn it, Travis. my heart was singing for a moment there, and now crushed it.
You know, this is what happens when I am scrolling Twitter like, this will be a fun throwaway joke to add at the end of something real quick. This makes total sense.
You're a journalist, man. Read into this shit.
I'm not a journalist. Brian's the journalist. I'm just the guy with a Twitter account.
I was like halfway glancing at it just for the joke until I didn't really look at the Twitter account until it's like, oh, it's Ninturdo one. Of course. This is like, damn it. Oh well.
Oh, you can't blame me. I'm just a talking head on this show. So.
It's all right. We found it out. We corrected it.
All right, this is real. Sony PlayStation wants you to call the X across to discuss.
Yeah. Nah, it's always gonna be X. Fuck you, Sony.
Yes. The same way that I will never not get used to using the square button as the back button in Metal Gear, I will never stop calling this stupid button what it is, even though it is petty.
It's the GIF controversy. Who gives a fuck? Call it whatever the hell you want to. PlayStation's always been calling it the cross. No one's ever going to call it that. No one's going to call it a Google search. They're going to call it Googling. Just let it fucking happen.
What I love is that the article points out the manuals for the DualShock. I'm like, who the fuck is reading these? They're goddamn pictographs. We don't need to know. It tells us on screen which picture to push. We don't need the manual. Unless it's like a disclaimer, don't swallow this, or I don't know.
Some of us sometimes read manuals if just for the fun. My job has enough of writing this manual shit. Sometimes I break out a manual just to see what other boring slave person job has been given to other people. Just like, I feel a bit of solidarity in my heart.
Hmm.
You're an odd man, Travis.
Alright, let's jump out of this odd bullshit spiral and go back to actual video game shit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
square, by the way, just so we know. It's square. I mean, it's X. I was thinking Sony Square. Yeah, anyway.
It's all right.
RE Resistance is the new game being teased by Capcom. It'll have more information next week, so we've basically got this trailer to hold us for the now.
Yes. And this trailer looks actually really interesting.
It does.
I don't know if either of y'all played Resident Evil Outbreak at all back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I
So
played
basically,
all of them but 7.
okay. So like I honestly like kind of dug the Outbreak concept, even though there was no way it was going to work on the infrastructure that the PlayStation 2 had.
Mhm.
And I think like bringing that sort of multiplayer element into an age where online stability is so much better now, and connectivity is so much better. I think it's a perfect opportunity for Capcom to kind of continue revitalizing Resident Evil. Because like Resident Evil 7 was such a different game in so many ways, and there's such a shot in the arm for this franchise. And I think that from what it's only a teaser trailer at the moment, but they're doing some interesting things with the enemy stuff, and like kind of I want to see more about the actual gameplay. I want to see this thing in action. I want to get my hands on it, but the concept is enough to excite me.
That kind of looks like a mix of Dead or Alive meets Dead Island. It's kind of neat because I noticed that the characters are you've got your range, you got your melee. Guy with the bat was especially brave.
Yes.
But at the same concepts in Dead Island. This looks like it's going to be a third person perspective though. Maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of the Left 4 Dead gameplay from the looks of it to me, which, fine. I could use another update to the Left 4 Dead manifesto going on. So
I could too. My only complaint about that series is that it was so short. Every game was incredibly short. I mean, you can get through Dead or Alive 1. You can get through in like an hour if you have 4 people co-op.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this will be more robust gameplay and story to be told in a co-op mode. That would be fantastic to have a full game in co-op like that.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, like as much as I liked Left 4 Dead, I feel like the universe of Resident Evil has a lot more creativity to offer in terms of enemy type and mission
You're not
type
wrong.
and stuff like that.
It does.
So yeah, so that's one of the main reasons why I'm really curious about this.
Has a much larger history to pull from too.
Mm-hmm. Also, the way that they kind of reinvented the Tyrant in that Resident Evil 2 remake that they put out earlier this year.
Yes.
Like, there's a reason why they end that trailer with that user-controlled Tyrant showing up in a lot of ways. Because like the new Tyrant is a fucking beast and a half, and is outstanding. And you put that could be a very formidable end level boss for one of these sort of sessions. And I don't know, everything I've seen and read about this so far, I love it. I want Tokyo Game Show to get here tomorrow.
If at the least this makes me hyped even more for Tokyo Game Show, which has a lot of great things that are going to be on display. So next week's show is going to be the toots.
Sony will not be making an appearance.
Surprising,
isn't it? At the Tokyo Game Show, they will not be there.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe because their E3 didn't go so.
Hey, Joe and Pie.
I'm gonna argue they maybe don't have a ton to show.
That's possible too. But I mean,
mean-
we're coming into October now. I mean, it's game release heaven now.
I
They
mean,
have to have something.
the only thing they really have right now is Death Stranding.
Yeah,
That's-
left
Yeah,
for
that's true.
The Last of Us is coming out some point eventually, right?
Yes, so The Last of Us 2 today, actually, Jeff Keighley announced today that there's going to be a media event regarding The Last of Us Part 2 at the end of September.
Okay.
Yeah.
So more than likely, we'll learn the release date then. It's going to be that event's going to be on September 24th. So it still could come out this year. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out this year, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it comes out early spring. We'll just have to wait and
I'll
see.
be betting early spring on this one. I don't
Yeah,
think
same.
this year.
I really hope
an
they
ambitious
do.
project. Yeah, but it's an ambitious project, so it's going to take some time. And frankly, I'd rather wait. I'd rather wait for a good game.
Yeah.
Sony, if you're listening, I already have too many fucking games to play for the rest of this year. Put it out in the spring. Put it out in the goddamn spring. I don't need it now. I want it in spring.
Too bad.
Hey, give it to us during the dry season, please.
Right. Moving on to, while we're talking about game releases, we've got a Chapter 9 for Celeste. Now, this isn't so much the story, but to work into it. They're releasing some additional things as well as a Chapter 9 to kind of put a little topping on your cake that the story gave you. And from the people who have played it so far, first off, it gives you the feels, but more importantly, you're going to die. You're going to die a lot. You're going to die all the goddamn time. There's no B-side to this. You are just going to get your ass kicked in by this new thing, and I am so excited to dive back into Celeste, a beautiful game that's going to give you even more great music to listen to after you beat this. And
the caveat is you have to beat it. You have to beat the original 8 levels in order to get the 9th. That I like that. I like that you have to prove yourself to play it.
Yeah, which is a problem for me because my current save file has me on level 4, so it's a little bit of work.
I was smart. I didn't even attempt this one.
I think I'm on like level 3 at the moment, but I've been meaning to jump back into it. So, bump.
Again,
And
I've got too many to get through, man. Too many games to get through. Celeste will be on that list.
No, I really like this release because like you said, it's not just the new levels. They also they are going full hog into this thing for the last chapter. You know, Lena Raine, the composer, talked about how she basically made 40 minutes plus of new music.
Wow.
For these new levels. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so there's a significant amount of time committed to getting this out there and closing the chapter on Celeste in a very meaningful way.
Plus, I think they're also introducing new mechanics. Chapter 9,
Yes.
are they not?
Yeah.
Something about blowfish. That's all I remember. Jumping on them, getting shot across the room by them, something like that. And jellyfish. I don't know.
Something there, like you can glide with jellyfish, and I think the blowfish work the way you were talking about.
Yeah. If you jump on them in the wrong way, they'll shoot you across the map. But in some points, you actually have to use that as an ability.
Yeah.
I read the article, and it seems very intriguing. It kind of makes me play it, but I know that I will just rage quit after level 3. So.
Yeah, wave dashing I have never been good at the best of times, so this is going to eat my fucking lunch. But luckily Celeste is the kind of game where if it's too hard for you, you can tone it down, but also I ain't in for that pussy shit. You gotta put me up on the difficulty, so let's go do.
So are you more of a... I imagine you to be somebody who can play through a game of Dark Souls and not break their controller.
Not break the controller, but I may not actually beat the game of Dark Souls.
I have no patience. No. Once I die the 20th time to the exact same thing, I'm out. I'm done.
I haven't yeeted a controller since I can specifically remember the last time. Tony Hawk Underground was the last time that I threw a controller. I was trying to do like this long grind, and it's, you know what? This is a pointless story.
Yeah, mine was Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the SNES. I broke both of my SNES controllers. That was great. Fuck Chun-Li, by the way. Just saying.
Literally or emotionally?
Either.
Alright, fair enough.
Blop.
Ba-da-ba-da. Anyway, Celeste in Towerfall, the creator of the game, has been known as Matt Makes Games up until this release, but along with the release of Chapter 9, they have decided to rebuild themselves to the Extremely OK Games company. So now it is Extremely OK Games, and it's really refreshing seeing this whole restructuring, since it was literally, like he says here, I started Matt Makes Games when I was working solo at my parents' basement, and I never thought I'd be working with such an amazing team on games of this scale. On Towerfall, my collaborators took a larger role than I anticipated. On Celeste, it was obvious that calling ourselves Matt Makes Games had become silly. So yeah, he's getting an office and making it an official for reals game company that is going to work on a whole new IP game soon.
Yeah, I think he's actually moving into their existing office, which is kind of cool. Change of scenery would be good for him.
Yeah, especially considering that the team has been kind of spread out, and some of them have been working from Vancouver, where the new office is going to be, and then some have been working down in Brazil. So, yeah, very widespread company there. So, it'll be nice to get everybody underneath the same roof, and I'm really excited to see what they come out with next. I think it shouldn't be too long before we hear from them again.
No, but they're still sort of in the idea phase of their next game.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we have some time.
And while we're on the new things that are coming out, I just want to throw out that Slay the Spire now has a fourth character. I will be streaming it Thursday because we're not doing the show, and people need to know that we're doing the show on Monday now. So I'll be streaming myself losing over and over on this new character that's going to be hard as balls. So look forward to me dying so that I can remind everyone, we're on Mondays now, we're on Mondays now, we're on Mondays now.
So not Sundays.
Not Sundays. Occasionally Sundays when I feel like playing a dumb game. Otherwise, this is a Thursday stream to inform people that it's now Monday streams.
All right, we got it.
Not yet.
So wait, what's the fourth character then?
It is some sort of ninja magic lady. I haven't looked too hard into it because I want to be somewhat surprised, and the company is obviously going out of their way to not tell you details.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's beta only at this point, so, yeah, you have to go in and specifically change the game to launch in beta mode.
So when is the actual launch? Have they released a date?
Nope.
Ooh. How very mysterious.
But all things considered, I got this game while it was still, in the actual beta process, so it'll feel like home again.
Yeah, I can never decide between chest or fire, so I always...
All right. Moving back into news that is not news of us. Death Stranding. Right. God, just that picture. Can we take a moment to appreciate just this weird-ass fucking picture with Norman Reedus being hushed and not being... He is not taking this lightly.
But I need to understand something about Death Stranding. Why is every promo picture of Norman Reedus crying? Like, have you noticed it on Twitter? It's always him. He's got tears on his cheek and shit. Like, he's always goddamn crying.
Because
he's gotta build these bridges.
It's metaphor. It's layers of metaphor, and...
But if I play this game, am I going to have to cry?
Yes,
All
many
the time?
times. All the goddamn time.
Sad about the P memes. That might be a thing. That might be true. But no, joking aside, I am looking at this one. I think it's going to be like batshit off the wall crazy, and I need to see what Hideo Kojima has done with himself.
It's either going to be great or a train wreck. I don't think there's an in-between possibility on this, and either way, I'm fucking on board. Bring me the goods.
See, here's the thing, though. A Hideo Kojima train wreck is still great.
Yeah, I've played Chibi Snatcher before. It was great.
I booted up Zone of the Enders. Like, I've been there. You know?
Now look, 6 months after release, I'll let you guys know.
There you go. But
right?
the most Hideo Kojima move fucking possible. He's releasing the game with a very easy mode that he is calling it for the movie fans, that this is going to be a cinematic experience for those of you who don't actually know how to play a video game, so you can watch and enjoy as a casual. It's not just the filthy casual, but the absolute filthiest of casuals.
Yeah, story mode basically, right? But it's not surprising because he was a director, right? So he came from cinema. It kind of makes sense, this move for him.
Yeah, and let's face it, him bringing in, you know, all of these new Hollywood fans, from Norman Reedus to Mads Mikkelsen to Lindsay Wagner and Del Toro. My mouth, it does not want to pronounce any names, so I'm just going to fumble over them anyway. There you go.
Use the last names. You seem to be okay with those ones. We all know who you're going to mean. That's fine. Fuck.
You're all right.
I'm good. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
No, I think
I can't. Go ahead, Brian. I was gonna say I can't. I want to know how much money they're spending on this.
Too much.
All the money.
With Keanu Reeves, Norman Reedus, like just those two names alone, I think that broke every other video game budget right there.
Well, Keanu Reeves isn't necessarily confirmed for the game.
No, just as a presenter. He did not walk away with nothing from that.
He was visiting Hideo Kojima's place. I think he's going to be at the Tokyo Game Show to present this, is kind of the vibe that was given off from Kojima's Twitter.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm obviously not confirmed, but I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen. He hasn't done a John Wick in a while, so he's got to get paid.
Mm. Yeah, I love that he referred to him as R. Keanu Reeves. You know, very different from the Cyberpunk 2077 Keanu Reeves.
Exactly. Well, that's what kind of tipped me off. I'm like, he's definitely presenting this game.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be. Why else would they say it?
Yeah, why else would he say R? But also in Hideo Kojima news, with this coming out, people have been, like, breaking the shit out of PT. And there's been a discovery that the shadowy character Lisa, that, you know, sometimes may jump in and surprise you, and there's little shadows of her around and weird sounds. Apparently she is always there, always behind you as you play the game. If you break the camera, you can look behind yourself, and she is just literally there, over your shoulder, at all the goddamn time.
Yeah, this, so I noped right at it. If I didn't know that little piece of information, I may have played this. But now I will know that she is always there watching me. And I can't do it. I just can't, especially if it's, you know, VR. Man, that would be terrible. And I want, like, I want to play it. I love the series. I want to. But now I can't.
You can't play PT anyway, because you can't get it anymore unless you had it already. You can't.
Oh, good. Good. I dodged a bullet there.
No. It's okay. You can find a PS3 with the thing loaded up on it on eBay for probably like $500 right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. My fans can't make me stream that. That's fine. It's good.
I mean, I could bring you my PlayStation 4 up to you, and you could give it a go.
Travis, you're banned from Canada. There's a new VR headset for the Switch.
Yes, it's not because it's in possible development. They put out a patent, but Nintendo puts out all the fucking patents.
That they do. They're the Disney of video games.
Yeah, I think they also filed a patent for like a hinged Joy-Con. So
Yeah.
do with that what you will.
Nintendo puts out some fucking weird patents sometimes. You kind of have to wonder yourself, do they just sometimes patent things just because they know that we'll, like, read the news on it and be like, oh, what's Nintendo working on? And be like, joke's on you, we don't give a fuck about this idea.
Oh man, Nintendo is a company of innovation. Like they're not so much a game company as they are a tech company. They release all this crazy video game technology and throw it all at a wall and see what sticks. And sometimes it changes the way we play video games, and sometimes it falls flat. That's what they do. And God bless them for it, because hell, a lot of the things we have now are because Nintendo invented them.
No, you're not wrong there. I mean, they definitely have shown the initiative to kind of branch out and understand that innovation is their main bread and butter in today's gaming market.
Yeah, well, they take risks and they're not afraid of them.
Exactly. My main concern with this, looking at some of the images with the patent, is that this looks like the sins of the Virtual Boy coming back all over again.
Oh God.
Because we're looking at, basically it'll be from what it looks like, it'll just be like a visor that you add to the Switch and you hold it.
Well, that's what you do with the current Labo set. So,
I get that. But if you're going to do something like this, that's going to be a next step. I would figure you might try and think of some way to, like, make that headset be a bit more maneuverable, a bit more hands-free in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, consider their competition, right? They're going up against HTC, PS4, like then the Oculus as well. Like they have other companies to learn from.
I mean, I enjoy my dumb Labo thing for what it was. It's a fun, like, one-off toy to play with for a period of time. But if they actually want to go in on this, and what's interesting to me, they keep releasing patches for things to add new stuff, and I'm like, wait, you guys are serious? Like, I just thought this was kind of fun and like a little, this is a cool experiment. No, this is they actually mean it. What?
Yeah, I got an HTC, and I think I got I'd say maybe 2 months worth of fun out of that. And it's back in the box now. I put it away. It's been sitting there for almost 2 years doing nothing. So, but that's the thing with VR, is that you get these short experiences, and they're not necessarily games. They're not full fleshed out games. So it becomes tired very quick. It's a novelty technology still, and the entire VR games industry really needs to start releasing some engaging content to get gamers to take it seriously.
You're not wrong, but you want to talk about a really, really odd reaching out? Because we've got a really fucking weird story that may make you angry.
Oh, I'm ready to get angry. I'm always on the verge.
Of all places to talk about video game shit, we're going to CNN now.
Oh, Christ.
Hooray!
The
good God.
NRA has hired Wade Candler from Gearbox Software, one of their former lawyers that worked for the company, to now work for them. He was apparently very highly spoken out about how video game violence caused issues for people previously to working for Gearbox. And people are kind of fucking confused, because, you know, the NRA kind of hates video games, but buy the game from video games?
I'm not sure how to feel about this just yet.
So,
I mean, He was clearly a good lawyer. Gearbox is still standing.
Well, funny you mentioned that because Wade Callender is the former Gearbox lawyer who is currently suing Randy Pitchford for like basically I think it's either suing or countersuing Randy Pitchford, saying that Randy Pitchford embezzled a $12 million bonus from the company, and also he's the one that's been talking about all the stuff on that flash drive.
Oh,
All
that's the guy. So he's the hero.
yes,
Yeah.
all the stuff on the medieval times trip. Not to mention some of the accusations about what goes on to Randy Pitchford's house. So, like, yeah.
So the NRA got this guy who is clearly angry at the video game market he used to work in and has said bullshit that is interesting about the video game market outside of this whole thing. This is the most convoluted move for the NRA to make.
Well, if you look at it from a stance of the NRA being a wholly corrupt organization that abuses its nonprofit status for personal gain, then them and Wade Callender a little bit go hand in hand because Wade Callender is no saint. Wade Callender, the reason why he's countersuing or suing Randy Pitchford is because Randy Pitchford has accused him of not repaying loans taken from Gearbox and basically misappropriating funds on company credit lines. And basically, there have been other examples of this outside of the Gearbox stuff as well. He's requested like advances or like extensions on his company credit line to pay off legal fees in a court case where he sued his own father over something in Maryland. Like there's been a bunch of different things where like he's been a little wishy-washy with money.
Yeah.
And like part of that money actually went towards like vacations and like rentals for different vehicles, and probably the one most humorous thing, a number of purchases from a website called, I think it's something about getting six-pack abs super fast. Yeah.
I did not expect that.
Yeah. So a litany of things that this dude has been spending company money on that he doesn't necessarily need to be spending company money on.
Yeah.
Although at the same time, the dude worked at Gearbox around the time that Bulletstorm, Duke Nukem Forever, Borderlands 2, all these major like gun-focused games came out. The same games that the NRA points to after every mass shooting.
Yep.
Even though all that shit's been debunked. So it is a little weird that Calendar is being brought into this organization.
Is it though? Because it seems like it's in line with the organization.
It's in line with it in some ways, but it's also just like the dude doesn't really have much experience in terms of politics. All of his experience is mainly as like an entertainment lawyer. So a lot of people are wondering why make this move with this guy just because of the severe lack of experience that he has handling DC style legal working.
Maybe that's exactly what they want, someone with a lack of experience.
Worked for the presidency.
Yeah.
Did it work? Did it work?
I mean, he is president, so yes.
No. There's a difference between getting elected and actually being president. He got elected. he ain't no president.
I can't honestly, I can't speak to anything. I don't live in the USA, so I feel bad for you guys. That's about all I can do.
In this one account, I'll say lucky, but
Can I just ask one legitimate question aside from this, and then we'll move on?
Yeah.
Peter, if Justin Trudeau came out came out with a map that had been drawn on with Sharpie to prove that he was right where the Weather Service was wrong, what would your reaction be?
The fuck just happened would be my reaction.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So that's every day we've had since 2017. All right.
God.
All right.
I have a better understanding of you.
Yep.
So anyway, let's move to Japan.
All right. Yes. Let's go further.
Physically?
I mean, I'd be
I
down.
mean, anyway. So there's been like a strange spate recently of like youngish men in Japan deciding to set the fire to the studios that they don't like, and this time it was to Visual Arts. Now he didn't actually set the place on fire, uh, but he threatened them with being set on fire. So that was a thing that happened.
Did they kill off his waifu or something? Like, what the fuck?
Not sure. The basically like this comes on the heels of the fire at Kyoto Animation in July, where I think it was like 35 people were killed in that
Hmm.
fire. And so they've been taking these sort of threats very, very seriously since then. Um, apparently
I
the
would, yeah.
dude, yeah. So the dude, who I'm not going to say his name, um, basically like sent them a bunch of messages saying that like threatening to not only burn down the building but also murder everyone at the company. Um, and I believe he said his last quote was, "I'm getting the gasoline ready."
Oh, good. Great.
Yeah,
So, I'm having a hard time understanding. Like, is this because of something the studio put out?
we don't know. There hasn't been any reports about the motive yet. Basically, this is still developing somewhat, but right now it's just dude. He was super pissed off at this one visual novel maker for some reason, and don't really necessarily know why. Um, I don't know if it's necessarily the same sort of because that sort of reaction seems more like something that would come from an American audience than a Japanese audience in some ways.
Are you nuts? Those people are crazy about their anime.
Oh
Mm.
no, they're crazy about their anime, but they're not crazy enough to set buildings on fire over it on a regular basis. This is still this really a relatively new thing.
I'm glad you qualified that with a regular yeah, I'm glad you
Yeah,
qualified it.
yeah,
Because it's happening.
yeah.
Mm.
Like my first instinct is to start poking fun at those like serious anime fans, the ones that have like anime girls printed on pillows.
Mm.
That's my first instinct, but I need to know his motivation before I can add legitimacy to my jokes.
What's interesting to me, I have known a few people who bought those ironically and then kind of segued into non ironic.
That's where it all starts, isn't it? It all
Mm-hmm.
starts with a joke.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wouldn't it be funny to have this body pillow? But I'm going to sleep with it now.
I imagine they're very comfortable. I'd get a body pillow, just not with an anime girl printed on it.
Probably a good call.
Yeah. I
All
wonder if I
right.
have guests. What'll they think?
Hmm.
Dropping into the last story of the evening, going back into our For Funsies land, EA is in the Guinness Book of World Records.
I'm proud of myself. I was part of. Then again, I think most of us here were.
The accolade that they get is the most downvoted comment on Reddit is in the official Guinness Book of World Records. Congratulations!
Incredible. That's incredible. 683,000 downvotes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it was well deserved too. It was well deserved.
Oh yeah, for those who don't remember, back during when the loot box controversy was just starting, they posted this little fun guy. The intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. As for cost, we selected initial values based upon data from open beta and other adjustments made to milestone rewards before launch. Among other things, we're looking at average per player credit, even rates on a daily basis, and we'll be making constant adjustments to ensure that players have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course, attainable via gameplay. We appreciate the candid feedback and the passion the community has put forth around the current topics here on Reddit. Our forums are across numerous social media outlets. Our team will continue to make changes and monitor community feedback and update everyone as soon as often as we can.
So condescending. Jesus Christ. Wow. Yeah, I remember that shit show. It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like from a gamer standpoint, like just watching EA get theirs for once. It was the greatest moment in gaming industry.
I like a part of my insides like died for the poor people at DICE who clearly put like years of their life on the line to put this game out, and then EA wanders in. Oh, it needs more microtransactions. Can just dabble them on, and could you put a few more on? And do you really want to make this game? You better put fire fucking on the fire.
Well, somebody actually did the math on it. I can't remember how many it was required to unlock everything up to Darth Vader, I think it was, and how much money was required. I think the dollar figure was over 2,000. I'm sure, probably at 5,000, but it's been a long time since I read that thread. The math on that, but that came in this thread as well, and it was poking holes in this very comment about what did he say? The player. Shit, I can't read it. It's so small. Accomplishments. That's it.
Accomplishments, yes.
Pride of accomplishment. Like fuck off. And I do feel bad for DICE. They did want to put out a good game, but EA had to EA it up.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But there you
right
go.
Up there. They're right up there with Ubisoft for me. Well, they're a little bit worse than Ubisoft.
So here's the breakdown. I got it for you. It'll take 4,528 hours of gameplay, or $2,100.
Yeah.
You could get yourself a pretty nice laptop. I could get myself a real good upgrade over this little piece of shit that I got going on here. That'd be real cool, rather than buying all of the cosmetics for a game that, let's face it, I didn't give a shit about to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, I played the first one, and I did not like it. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
All those photorealistic graphics were amazing that you got to see for about 10 seconds before you died. And they only had like 4 modes at release. I think, no, 4 or 6 modes, something like that. I was expecting story mode. That did not exist. I got an online only POS. So...
Well, it's still not as bad as what you got with Fallout 76, so,
That's true. It's very true. The thing with Fallout 76, so I played that with a bunch of buddies of mine, online buddies, and it is way more fun co-op, like when you're in a group. It's a whole different game. If you're soloing that game, though, if you have no friends, don't buy it, man. Just do not buy that game.
Yeah, I've watched Lady Goggles try to solo it, and it looks like the most tedious fucking slog that you can fucking imagine.
It absolutely is. I mean, all we ever did was go around killing and looting. That is fine. Quests, what the hell are those? Don't know.
But this has been Mr. Video Games for Monday, September 9th, 2019. That was our last store, but we don't leave you off at that. Of course, we have to crown Mr. Video Games for every episode. It is somebody who's done something so bad, so terrible, so wonderful, so amazing, something, just a thing that you look at and go, yeah, that's video games.
I love how you describe that. That's perfect.
And this week's winner is Doom Bone Vodka. That's right. You too can get Bone Vodka made for Doom, and you can pay 40 euros.
Made from actual bone.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
It's taken bone marrow to result in a dry, earthy start with umami and buttery feeling on the tongue.
I don't know about you guys. Anytime I drink vodka, the last burning. So
I don't know. I don't mind it. I don't mind a good complex vodka.
there are complexities.
There are.
There can be. I don't know. I'm also like a liquor snob. So, hence why I got drunk on Hennessy.
I'm also laughing at uncharismatic comment there.
Agreed. Yes. No. But no, like this. Honestly, like if you're going to cross promote with anything like this, like this is pretty rad. Actually, it's something that I will actually use.
Yeah, totally. It's a decorative piece after you're done.
I want to remind people of what exactly Doom reminded everyone of here in this. This is not the first time that Bethesda has gone to this particular well with Nuka Dark. From our good friends at Paste Magazine, that reminder of the horseshit.
Yeah, that came and went so fast.
I actually somehow missed this whole thing when this came out with the Nuka Dark rum. But afterwards, reading about it, you know what? I'm just going to copy and paste this into the chat. If you're not familiar with Nuka Dark rum and the whole travesty of a fucking plastic bottle full of awful rum, congratulations.
Yeah, this is why it was just a blip in gaming news. It did not last. Uproar, died, disappeared.
Yeah, so you're asking me to go out and now buy your vodka after sucking ass at selling me rum in the first place.
Yes.
I mean, take it with a grain of salt, you know?
I mean, you do have to take your vodka shot with a little bit of salt on the rim and kind of helps when they're going down. But anyway.
Ew. You heathens!
What are you doing with your life, man?
What the hell? What's doing salt with vodka?
Look, it's a bone vodka. It brings out umami flavors.
It's not enough that it's jam-packed with marrow for you. You gotta put salt on the fucking thing, too.
Well, this has been Mr. Video Games for Monday, September 9th, 2019.
Oh, Christ. Well done.
Play, watch games. Peter, you got anything final to say as we descend into madness?
Fuck Chun-Li. Broke my controllers, bitch. That's all I gotta say about that.
Wonder Boy, what you got for us this fine evening?
Well, happy birthday to the Dreamcast.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bring it all back around to what I was originally gonna talk about before I got my salty intro going. No, like it's cool to kind of think back on that console nowadays, like what it could have been and what Sega turned into because of that console. So yeah, it's just a nice little trip down memory lane today, looking at some stuff there, and it's been pretty rad. So
we were having a good time, man. We were having a good time, and you had to make my heart bleed. Fuck you.
Yeah, it happens. That's what I'm here for. Here to bring everybody back down to earth with the sadness. Yes.
The sadness.
Anyway.
What could have been.
Also, you can find my writing at outsports.com, pacemagazine.com, and that's all for right now. Also, follow me on Twitter at WonderboyOTM.
Wonderful.
And make sure, everyone, to go follow Play Watch Games here on Twitch.tv as well. We export these videos every week to youtube.com/CBGBgames. Coming to a podcast sooner and sooner and sooner. I want it to be faster, but it's not. But we're getting the kinks worked out, and I promise you we'll have a real podcast on a real thing, and we'll be real boys, not just, Twitch streamers.
Yeah, help them out, folks. Hit that subscribe button. That would help a lot.
It is September.
We got him here to do the call to action that we are terrible at doing.
Wait, are you afraid of asking? Is that the thing?
I was raised in the South.
Oh, okay.
We are
Gotcha.
not told to ask for anything.
Gotcha.
What are you going to do? Ask for handouts? No.
Hit subscribe. Tips in the jar. Help them out, guys.
Yeah.
Drop $1 in the bucket. Come on. You know you want to give us money. Okay.
If you laughed, you owe us money.
I'm good at the old call to action. I am not so good at asking for money. Anyway.
Hey, thanks for the bits, Mero.
This has been the Mr. Video Game Live Super Show. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, of course, Peter, for filling in for Merowyn until she starts feeling better and whatnot. And thanks, everyone, on Krasmatic, Giant Pie, all the other people who commented, whose names I can't remember right now. Everyone who came by, have a wonderful night and a pleasant tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Bye.